Getting started in the next game. We are currently in the match.
I'll
Introducing the
take it
first
away.
player.
Or would you?
I actually have starboard already set up because the colors are correct.
Well, as a reward, please, sir, introduce the first player.
Alright. Currently up 1-0 here. Interesting pick by TLO to go for Antigua, but we'll see how that works out for him, as this is QuanticTheStC, spawning as the blue Terran over here in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen.
And his opponent in the top right corner of the map, we have the red Zerg LiquidTLO. And I don't know what I tried to do there, but I couldn't stop. Just had to go with it, man.
That's cool, that's cool. Alright. I'm really intrigued as to what direction TLO wants to take this game. Long ago, this was the map that he actually took out MKP, and I think actually Team Liquid broke forward momentarily there, as it was really an upset. I think it was in the EG Masters Cup. It was in one of the team leagues. Could have been for IPL-TAC as well. But
I would really like to see him do something that is specifically tailored to this map. I wouldn't put it past him. I mean, we've got people like TLO and higher caliber. I mean, like, you know certain maps, they have an ace up their sleeve. And we'll see if he has one, or if he's just hoping to get a bigger map for better chance at macro and not the, the barracks push shenanigans that we've seen a lot of today in Dreamhack.
yeah. It seems like, most likely, especially considered the lower supply depot, the SDC is going to want to opt for 1 Rax FE out of this. TLO, of course, going for a hatch first. Nothing strange there. I wonder if he's going to go for speed or just continue on to a relatively faster base, as we've seen from him now and again.
And I'm just going to take a moment, guys. I know we got a lot of fans of both these players in chat. If you're watching, if you're on Twitch, please let us know who you want to win. Let's see who people are cheering for today, as I already see a lot of TLO love going on.
Yeah, we'll see if he can bring back the series, guys. As a caster, I always hope for Game 3 regardless of who's playing.
You know, I don't know. I'm like the worst sort of underdog caster where it's like, I don't care who wins Game 1, I'm going to be rooting for the other guy just because they lost. You always hope for that extra game in the series, especially between two great players like the STC and TLO.
Yeah. We do have the STC opting for double gas here before his second supply depot, so most accurate Hellions coming from him. Could be Banshee with cloak, without cloak. Only puts 2 guys on gas, goes for more barracks. Don't know. But I really actually care, so we'll see what tech choice both players have in store. Still no gas from TLO. With a pick like Antigua, I would be kind of surprised if he opens with anything other than multiple, like 4 or 6 queen opening. But it is TLO,
yeah, that definitely
so
seems to be a favorite thing of Zergs nowadays. The problem is, of course, you have those queens out on the open, they're putting the creep out. Hellions pick them off, Rains pick them off, Banshee picks it off. I don't know, queens are very strong units, but when left alone, you can't afford to lose them.
yeah.
I mean, the coolest thing we've seen a lot lately, too, is those extra queens, the ones that start out as dedicated creep tour queens, later on become the battle medic super transfused queens.
Yeah, we had in the series I casted first, actually, 4 AM for me. It was Targa versus R-Ace, and Targa utilizing queens with it to support his broodlords very effectively on Daybreak. But we do have the factory finishing up just about now here for the SDC, very nicely timed, and I'm assuming to see a starport after this. We shall see that. Yeah, that goes down. And this is interesting positioning for the tech lab to be swapped over to the starport. I kind of like it. It's kind of out of the way. Might be a little bit of a pain for Mutas, although with a couple missile turrets around there, he should be good to defend going forward. Because there are 3 gases, and because of the way that these are timed, I expect some sort of 2-base play. The 3rd gas kind of leans me toward that assumption. Roachling Bane could definitely be a viable option, although he does have a fair amount of queens out relatively early on. And this
whatever he chooses to go for, he's got to be careful because we are going to see Banshees approaching the field in a moment here.
Yeah. Huh, he took the 3rd gas, but he's not actually mining from it until after his 3rd went down. Alright, this is actually relatively similar to the playstyle that he used in the last game.
Speaking of his 3rd, it's in danger.
Yeah, there's a bunker
Couple
going.
Hellions
a couple
don't have
Marines.
the DPS, but a couple of Marines matched with some Hellions.
Yeah, these queens are moving up here. He has to be careful. This is not like those glitched Ohana maps that were played on earlier.
And that's one queen out in the open. There's 4 Hellions here. That queen needs to be home defending the mineral line.
Oh, and the Zerglings don't have speed quite yet. About 3/4 of the way complete. Queen's doing a good job zoning so far, but...
Drone blocking the Hellions from the mineral line.
Some beautiful hits so far.
Pulling all the workers to deal with this, not something you often see, but it is still effective, and that Marine actually killed that queen at the cost of 2 of his brothers over here at the 3rd location. 6 workers killed by the Hellions, fried alive BBQ style.
Yeah. A couple Zerglings moving out here, despite the fact that they do not have speed, should be able to deal with this Marine quite easily.
Ooh, and we actually have medevac energy coming from our starport very early.
Yeah, he's hoping for TLO to see that with the Overlord, and TLO actually did see the Tech Lab researching.
Yeah, and he might just think Cloak, especially with the Banshee approaching. Is there a Spore Crawler? There's no Spore Crawler down in the main.
He saw both engineering bays though, so if TLO's on top of things, he should see that for fake like it is. Because there's no way you can have gas for these 2 each bays as well as Cloak this early on.
Oh, and the Banshee trying to get away there does get 3 drone kills, but is stopped by that Queen. 14 health remaining as it returns home.
Oops.
And STC actually taking a start behind this as well, so keep it on par with our Zerg player here.
Yeah, Baneling Nest on the way here for TLO as well. No additional gas is taken all quite yet. He delayed his Infestor tech quite a fair amount last game. I'm really interested that he delayed his 3rd as long as he did, instead of just going for a really heavy Queen opening, having picked Antigua. I'd love to hear his thoughts on what the reasoning was behind the map pick after the game. He's usually interviewed. He's one of those pros that always gets priority for interviews, so we might find out eventually.
Well, I think that is definitely one of the benefits of coming along with Team Liquid.
Yeah.
Zergling's going to be cleaned up here by these Hellions.
Unfortunately, do not get a chance to pick off that lone SCV there in red.
Oh, but these other Zerglings might not be before they do some damage. Turning around on these Hellions. 2 Banshees out that will help deal with this.
Oh, the Zerglings will actually pick off every single one of the Hellions. No, the last one does survive.
1 veteran, no, maybe? 10 health? Nope, does stay alive.
How many kills?
4
kills. Unfortunately, he's only recruit until he slays 1 more foul Zerg.
I mean, that's only a couple Hellions and some Marines. Those units come out of reactor buildings that are replaced very easily. Not really the biggest loss in the world. Dealing with a continual Zergling run by here into the 3rd, but these Banshees are very well equipped to deal with Zerglings.
Yeah, they do 2-shot Zerglings, so despite the fact that these Banshees didn't really deal all that much damage in TLO's main, he is using them for a little bit of harass cleanup duty.
They're still pushing in here. Hasn't really picked off that many though. Only 3 SCVs dead, 4 SCVs. Only 4 SCVs dead at this point. Gonna say 5, but never mind.
Behind this aggression.
TLO, look at this. Yeah, in the middle of the map. This is
very
ballsy.
interesting. I like it. He's really kind of playing counter to meta. He's putting on a lot of Zergling harass, and behind this he's actually going for a 4th and Antigua, rather than going for some sort of 2-base all-in, which you generally see out of Zergs on this map.
It doesn't matter what race you are. This 4th base is never the easiest thing to secure, much less hold, but...
Speaking about securing...
Yeah, those Banshees are on it. However, a lot of Zerglings are already back into the 3rd here, but that's a lot of Marines that are just narrowly going to miss them.
Unfortunately, the STC's supply depot wall is just barely not in time.
The STC's SCVs are in trouble. That's the problem I'm having with this. I keep wanting to say SCV just because it's something you say so often when you're talking to Karen, but STC, another very popular acronym, I guess, or soon to be. Still trying to get some run-bys here, but none of these Zerglings really being that effective.
So the Banshees did manage to get out. I checked the Queens for kills, and Banshees haven't even hardly taken any damage, so... Finally, we see some siege tanks as well as siege tech on the way, but 2-2 is going to be complete relatively soon, and the SDC is just going into mega macro mode. Little bit of a fight up here. He might be able to snipe this.
This Tantry will absolutely fall, there's no question about it, but there are infestors behind it. These Marines have got to be careful. At the very least, save the medevac, sir. Oh, that
Banelings do connect.
And Banshee's focusing the Zerg cocoons. I guess not much you can do when fungal. But Infestor's investing a lot of energy into that, and that wasn't even the bulk of the Marines, as most of the Marines are still at home.
Yeah. I mean, the SDC is gearing up for a really, really big 3-base push. with 2-2 complete and a lot of siege tanks. His medevac count really isn't all that high. The STC is one of those players that delays, certainly, adding in medevacs in TVZ in favor of getting a little bit more bio out to deal with any sort of aggression, run-bys, etc. from the Zerg player early on. But with this Hive completing, Aspire is on the way as well, so TLO...
And I think we might see these Banshees in the middle of the map fall. Infestors could do some deadly stuff at the cost of a lot of energy. They will,
but at the cost of a Queen as well. Rain stepping forward here.
And this other Banshee's going to pick up the Infestor in the back, just do some damage, but Fungal does finish it off.
Yeah.
However, STC being able to push, he's got those Marines, he's got a tank, and look at everything coming from his base.
And
he's in a
TLO...
really nice position.
I really can count the number of times on my one hand how he's actually been in a supply lead in both of these games so far. I mean, the STC is just really gearing up for these long macro games, and TLO has tried his hand at this harassing Zerg style, but it really hasn't been paying off for him. He hasn't done enough damage, and at this point...
but STC might get caught off guard here. He does have the wall up. Can he hold it, though? Gotta get some good repairs off. Those Zerglings can be very dangerous if left unchecked.
The bunker is finishing. Unfortunately, he does not have any Marines to fill that. However, the reinforcements should be able to deal with this quite handily.
Yeah, and he brings his army back home to clean up all the ones trying to run away. Shooting fish in a barrel, literally, as he runs across the map.
Oh, and the STC actually scans right when TLO is moving forward with a single Infestor. Just barely out of scan radius.
Oh, but these Banelings here at the third are going to connect with those Marines, and he's got to be careful because there's still quite a few more Banelings. Speed on creep, I mean...
Yeah, but look at the tank spread, look at the Marine spread here. TLO is moving forward with all of his Infestors clumped. Beautiful target fire by the STC.
Annihilating that Infestor count.
He even pulled up a couple of Marines into the medevacs. This is just so one-sided.
Everything here. Zerglings trying to swarm around, but there's just not much you can do with this few Zerglings against this many tanks. And this third base, look at this. All these Marines are so very low, but it doesn't matter because there's just nothing to oppose them right now. Some Zerglings are about to pop. They should clean this up.
The STC moving forward with another token force, possibly to deny enemy creep, but there's only one active tomb remaining
here. The siege
here.
Positioning on this map, yeah, he's sniping some of these Zerglings to try to run by. See them on fire with those tiny wings. Little Hellspawn demons.
The STC is actually rallying reinforcements forward, so he needs to pull units back in order to deal with these constant run-bys.
And that third base does fall for TLO. However, as you said, the Zergling run-by is going to get picked up by some tanks and Marines, though. So again, really not that big of threats.
He does get 2 tanks with it, so it's okay. He did okay with that.
There's supply depots everywhere. These Zerglings are literally cornered here. Bottom of the map.
Burr to try and save themselves, unfortunately. The STC's been saving up scans, it does not matter, and it looks like TLO will be 2-0'd in his first match in the group stage by QuanticTheStC, but can he come back with these Broodlords morphing? He actually has a fair amount of Infestors with some energy, but his economy is really going to hurt him right now. The STC is getting a fourth behind this.
Look at this, this slow line of blue coming across the map now.
Welcome to Korean Marine tank play. But we see...
I like TLO's little fourth, or well, I guess new third. Should have been his fourth, trying to go down there.
Yeah.
Right side of the map, but it's not really going to matter because, the drone transfer.
That's such an unfortunate time. This does clue in the STC to the location of that third base.
I mean, there's Broodlords too, but there's just so few of them and so many Marines.
Yeah. The Infestor count is actually pretty high, and he has enough energy on here to delay the STC's push into his naturals for a little bit until he gets some more Vikings out. But with +1 ship weapons already on the way, he should be able to deal with this in the coming minutes.
Yeah, just look at the unit count right now. He's got a lot of Fungals, but no Banelings, so I mean, these Zerglings are really going to be ineffective when trying to deal with this.
Yeah.
If you get a couple good Fungals off, hold the entire Marine army in place, just slam into them with a wave of Banelings, he might have a chance to deal with the tanks with those Broodlords. However, there's just so many Marines. In fact, let's see how many are on the field. 62 Marines right now, guys. I mean, this is scary.
He has nearly 3 times the amount of Marines than TLO has Zerglings on the field right now. This is not a good spot for a Zerg player. He's definitely going all out on the Broods, instead relying on Corruptors for that anti-air support to take down the Vikings. However, here comes the STC's answer, and his army is looking mighty fierce.
Yeah, just pushing up here. Tanks, sieging, Fungals going down, Brooklyn's going all over the place. But STC just has such a nice army. Queen's out here on the front line trying to transfuse the crap out of these Brood Lords.
And here comes
Isn't
all
going to be enough, though.
the Infestors. I like how TLO's delaying this. He's really trying to buy as much time as possible, but the STC is just getting further and further ahead because he does have an economy behind this.
Oh, and as the Brood Lords fall, so will what little army he has left. Fungals going down on these Marines. Beautiful Fungals, but they're just not enough. There's nothing to follow it up. He's got 2 Brood Lords against a contingency of Marines and a single Viking, and there's nothing to really deal with them.
Yeah, a lone Viking out on the field right now needs to be Fungal in order to be kept in check.
Oh, Fungals going down on the Marines, but Vex trying to keep the Marauder alive. A little bit of a mistake.
The lone Queen does take out the
Brood
Viking
Lord.
before it dies, so that Queen can die happy.
With no anti-air whatsoever. Marines rallying forward right now, but I mean TLO doing a nice little delay tactic, but that's all it really is. It's just death is creeping across the map. No pun intended, Zerg players.